Welcome to Operations Research Monte Carlo Simulation using MS Excel lecture series by Professor Joyjeet Ghosh. This is the third lecture of a 4-lecture series. This lecture will be on application of Monte Carlo simulation using an example in MS Excel in a business problem like stock quantity problem. The application is explained with generalized example and anyone can understand easily. So, do not miss and watch the full video. For the next video in the lecture series, please click the suggested video link above. You may also click on the playlist at end of the video to access all the videos. Please subscribe this channel and yes, do not forget to like and share. Also click on the bell icon to receive instant information of new videos uploaded. Thank you.
Hello friends, welcome to this third lecture of 4-lecture series on Monte Carlo simulation using MS Excel. In this lecture, we'll discuss a stock problem or stock quantity problem rather. And if you missed the first 2 lectures, I would recommend you go to the first 2 lectures. In the first lecture, I have discussed or introduced Monte Carlo simulation using a simple example. And in the second lecture, we have discussed Monte Carlo simulation or applied Monte Carlo simulation to a production quantity problem. So in this particular problem, this is a stock quantity problem. That is a very similar problem which is often encountered in business. How much to stock or how much to produce. The problem is very similar, and this we'll understand using a simple example problem of which I'll be discussing in a minute. But before I start discussing this particular problem, this newspaper boy problem, I have also discussed in my third lecture in decision theory lecture series. So there is a 4-lecture decision theory lecture series. In the third lecture, I have discussed the same problem. So if you have not gone through that particular video series, you should go through the particular lecture to understand how to solve this particular problem using decision theory methods or estimated value of money or expected value of money. That method in this particular lecture will be, however, using Monte Carlo simulation to solve this particular problem. So in this particular problem, there is a newspaper boy who has to stock certain number of newspaper ranging from 10 to 15, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 15. So these are the 5 stock possibility of the newspaper boy, and the demand may also vary from 10, 11, 12, 13 and 15. And the probability of the demands are also given here. The demand being 10 is 10%, and demand being 11 is 15%, demand being 12 is 20%, demand being 13 is 25%, and the demand being 15 is 30%. So total will be 100% probability. So the demand probability is given to us, and we can stock either of these 5 so that it will be sold, and the cost of each copy is 30 paisa and sale price is 50 paisa. However, he cannot return the unsold copies. That means if a copy is unsold, he loses 30 paisa. And the profit by selling 1 copy of newspaper is 20 paisa. So this is the particular problem. First we have to map this. For mapping, this is the mapping table of the demand. What we'll do is that we'll generate random numbers, and based on the random numbers, we'll simulate the demand. For simulating the demand, we need to map. So suppose this is 10, demand is 10%, probability is 10%. So it will be 0 to 9, catering to 10% probability. So it is 11 is 15%. So it's 15% from 10 to 24 will cater to the 15% probability of 11, demand being 11. So likewise, we have mapped it. Now suppose if a random number is 26, then the simulated demand will be 12. If the random number is 92, then the simulated demand will be 15. If the random number is 5, the simulated demand will be 10. Like that, we will be simulating the demand. And for each of the stock options, what is the profit or the payoffs, we will be calculating based on the logic that is given. And then we will calculate the profit and simulate the profit for each combination of demand and stock, and we'll check which option of stocking or which stock quantity that the newspaper should use. So the logic is that if D is the demand or sales and S is the stock, And if the demand is less than stock, then the demand is less, so how much he can sell? He can sell equal to the demand, that is D into 20. By selling each newspaper, he earns a profit of 20. And since demand is less than the stock, that means some newspaper which he has stocked will be unsold. So how much he will be unsold will be the stock minus the demand, and that into 30. 30 is the cost price of each newspaper. That will be a loss, so we will be subtracting this. For example, if the demand is 12 and the stock is, let's say, 15, that means he has stocked 15 but the demand is 12, so maximum he can earn profit is 12 into 20, that is 240. And 15 minus 12 is 3 newspaper will be unsold, so that means he loses 90 paisa. So 240 minus 90 paisa will be 130. The profit will be equal to 130. Now if this is D is, if this then if D is less than S, then it is this. Else if D is greater than or equal to S, then it will be S into 20. Suppose if the demand is 15 and he has stocked 10, that in maximum he can sell is 10, so 10 into 20, okay, that will be 200. So likewise we'll find out the payoffs for each combination of demand and stock. So with this, let us go to Excel and solve this particular problem using Monte Carlo simulation. So this is the table. I'll copy this table for my reference. I'll not be splitting the screen. Okay, this is the table. Okay, so let me write here demand. Demand is 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, and the probability is 0.1, 0.15, 0.25, sorry, 0.2, 0.25, 0.3. So this should come out, the summation should come out to 1. So that means it is okay. So the mapping, so I'll convert it into text, otherwise it will be a problem. It will take it as, so it is 0 to 9, 10, 15% is 10 to 24, so it will be 20% to 25 to 44, so it is 45 to 25, that is 50, 60, so it is 59, and it will be 60 to 30%, that is 89. One I have missed, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 40, this is, sorry, this would be 69, please excuse me, this would be 69, so this would be 70, and this would be 99. Now it's correct. So this is how we have mapped it. Now demand will select a random number for simulating demand. Okay, so this is, will generate random numbers for simulating demand, and based on that we will find out the demand by mapping this from the table. This is clear. Sorry, demand, and then the stock option. Let us write like this: stock 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, March. Stock, you may stock 10, 11, 12, 13, and 15. So these are the stock options and these are the demands. So demand will, random number will generate for simulating. So rank between, we'll select rank between between 0 to 100, because we have mapped between 0 to 100. Okay, so here how many will simulate? Let's simulate 5, or let's say 10. Let's simulate 20. For 20 days let us simulate the results. Okay, now these are the simulated demand, and we'll be mapping it to the number of copies, that is demand. This is simulation number for the demand, and we'll map this. This is equal to this value. If this value, sorry, I have to write if. So if this particular value is less than, we have mapped it to this, less than 10, how much it is? It is V, demand will be 10. Else if, again we'll put a if command, in nested if command. If this is less than 25, it will be 11, demand will be 11. Else if this value is less than 45, then the demand will be 12. Else if this value, okay, sorry, if this value is less than 70, it is 13. Else it is 15. Okay, put some brackets here. Okay, so here we got it. So if it is 81, let me check. If it is 81, so lies between this range, then demand is 15. So it is correct. Let me do some more checks. It is 30. So 30 is between this, demand is 12. Okay, fine. 10 is this, so demand is 11. It's okay. So demand we have calculated. Now we implement the logic. What is the logic? The logic is this. If D is less than this, then D into 20 minus S minus D into 30. So implement this, equal to, if finding out the various combination, the payoffs for various combination of the demand and the stock, will find out the payoffs, that is the profits. So if the demand is less than the stock, so this will be an absolute referencing. I'll press F4 and it is demand into 20 minus bracket this absolute referencing F4 minus this star 30. If D is greater than the stock, greater than or equal to stock, else that means this F4 absolute referencing into 20 bracket close 1 is done. Okay, so let's check. If demand is 13 and the stock is 10, that means demand is more than 10, so it will be 10 into 20 is 200. So if I pull it here like this, so you will see all will be 200, because 200 is the minimum number. So okay, let me drag this formula here. So before this dragging this, let me put it like this. This I'll reference it in this manner, so that B I don't have to change. Okay, now done. Enter. This I'll drag it in this manner. So now here this C will have to be D. Enter. So if it's 11, demand is 12, so 11 into 20 is 220. So now this formula is correct. We'll drag it here. Accordingly we'll be simulating it. Okay, so now this here, it will be E, sorry, this will be E This will be E. So this will be F. Enter. So 13 into 20 is 260. Okay. So this should be G. This should be G. This should be G. Enter. We'll drag the formulas. Okay. So we'll calculate the average. Or we should calculate the total, and that will be better. So this will be equal to sum of all this. Okay, now let us do some conditional formatting so that it is easy to view. Data bars, let us put some data bars. This will be better, I think. This will be better along with some of this or color scales if I use. Yes, the red color will indicate the highest value accordingly. So, and the bars, you can see the highest bars here. So if I press S9, it will be simulated each time. You can see which one gives him the highest profit for, let's say, 20 days sale or somewhat around like that. So you can see it is either 12 or 30, and you can do the trials for 20 trials and you can find it out, and ultimately you will see that most of the time the maximum profit he earns is by stocking 12 newspaper. So the solution will be, by this simulation, is that he should stock 12 number of newspaper. And if you check our answers by decision theory in decision theory lecture 3 of the same problem, the result of that particular problem is also 12. That is, the newspaper boy should stock 12 newspaper. So that is how you solve this particular problem. Once you simulate it, you can play with the data, you can find out the mean, you can find out the average, you can do number of trials, and any n number of statistical analysis you can carry out with this data. But mind you, these are simulated results, these are close to the actual results and may not be the exact results. So I hope you have understood this particular problem, how to solve it in MS Excel. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, and you can mail me, or you can put it in the comment box, and I will try to respond to your query. Thank you for watching this particular video. In the next lecture, we'll be discussing another problem, that is investment budgeting problem, and application of Monte Carlo simulation in investment budgeting problem. Thank you.